Welcome, everybody, to Glockcast episode 15, sponsored by Gladiator Custom Mouth Guards. The Eagles are 10-1. Are they the best team in the NFL? Is Carson Wentz the MVP? Are the Eagles going to the Super Bowl? Should we even be talking about the Super Bowl? We will answer all of these questions today. We'll go over the power rankings, and we have a special guest. Eagles running back Kenjon Barner will join the show today. We are locked and loaded. We have in studio today the heavy artillery, since Sunday is such a big game. Back from a hiatus, we got Rob McLaughlin.
What's going on? Happy to be back.
Rob, how about your prediction, though?
I know it was a big first half.
Pretty damn good prediction. You were dead on the Instagram story. If you're not following, you should be following. But you know what? We brought in somebody else, backed by popular demand. The leader of Eagles Nation, Jordan Bruni, is in the house.
Hello, everybody. I'm back, and yeah, I'm hyped.
Well, when the Eagles are 10-1 and they're playing on primetime, you have to be in studio.
You know it, man. I'm hoping that we can keep this going for the next couple of weeks also.
The two biggest games are coming up, guys, right? We've been waiting for this point. We got to 10-1, which is crazy, by the way. The Eagles are 10-1. None of us thought that before the season started. But what has impressed you the most so far about this team? A lot has impressed me. I'm sure a lot has impressed you. But what's the thing that stood out the most? I mean, you could say Wentz if you want, but maybe something else other than Wentz.
It's simple. It's the fact that across all three aspects of the game, the consistency and the dominance they showed. Defense, special teams, offense, it's all there and it's consistent.
I'm going to kind of run off that also. There's a lot of balance going on in the team. You know, everybody's playing their part. Special teams doing their part, offense is doing their part, and the defense is doing their part. And the offense is spreading the ball around to all different wideouts, and we're using all the running backs, and everybody's contributing, in a different way. So
I'm shocked with the way the offense has performed. Dude, guys, they scored 30 points or more in 5 straight. Are they ever not going to score 30 points again? Look at these receivers. Let's just start with Ertz, who's the second best tight end in the league, and the Wentz-Ertz combo is the best combo in the league going right now. Yeah, I said it, Brady and Gronk. I said it, okay? It's the best combo going. Ertz, 55, 639, and 7 already this year. Let's look at Alshon Jeffrey, who keeps getting better every week. 43 catches, 619, and 7. And then how about my boy, Snagglear? 33 catches, 458 yards, and 6 touchdowns. I would say he's probably the biggest revelation this season, unless you want to go with the defense or just Doug Peterson in general. But, I mean, this has been insane, and they're so fun to watch. So I'm going to ask you, who is your favorite player right now, not named Wentz, that you guys like to watch right now on this team?
I'm going with Brandon Graham. I love him. He's big, jacked, fast, and dominant.
He was great on Sunday, too. He was the best player defensively on the field.
Yeah, he's a pleasure to watch.
Dude, man, now this is his game on Sunday, Earl Thomas. He gets to prove to everybody without a shadow of a doubt that he is better than Earl Thomas, and he has been the last couple of years, which is crazy to think about.
I would say Jernigan, and I was really happy about the contract extension. I said this guy has basically changed basically every game out there. You obviously see. Have you seen many successful running backs that we've played against? I think the Cowboys running back was about the most successful we've seen, and we blew them out of the water.
Well, I thought Chicago was going to be a little bit of a test for the Eagles' run defense because I keep saying they haven't faced that many attempts. It was 193 going into Sunday. Jordan Howard, 6 yards rushing. Tariq Cohen, negative 11 yards rushing.
It was awesome. I'm in the box. I'm looking up at the scoreboard. Negative 6 yards rushing into the fourth quarter.
It's almost it feels like the Eagles' defense has figured out everything about offenses in the NFL because you haven't seen any offenses prospering for the last 5 games. So I'm wondering when's an offense going to move the ball on us?
I mean, well, you know what also helps when you're scoring 30 a game every game. These other teams aren't going to be able to keep up with that pace. And the Eagles are literally a high-powered offense. You think of some great offenses, like maybe the greatest show on turf with the Rams, or the great offenses New England has had, or Indianapolis. The Eagles are probably better than any of these offenses, and nobody wants to admit it, but it's the truth.
And another thing is, Carson Wentz isn't throwing for 420 yards a game. He's throwing, 150 to 220 yards a game, and he doesn't need to throw the ball that much because we have such a run game that we just have so much balance. So you don't need to go out and throw 45 pass attempts.
No.
We don't need to do that. We have too much balance, and that's like the beautiful thing about it.
And after Kansas City, when they had the mixed-up run-pass ratio, he threw it all those times, and it's like, oh, man, well, he's going to be throwing so much. But they are balanced, and they're loaded at running back.
They threw it 46 times against Kansas City, and it was kind of a learning – I think it was a learning mistake for Doug Peterson, and I think he made up for it the next couple of games. He kind of learned as he went along.
Yeah, I agree with you. And just to put a bow on the favorite player, I think my favorite player to watch has been Aguilar. Dude, he's such a revelation from where he was this time last year. None of us ever thought he could make a back after that disaster last season. And kudos to Roseman for getting Jordan Matthews out of the way and not only getting Ronald Darby, who was our best corner, but letting Aguilar get in the slot and thrive because he's thriving. And it's insane to watch, but I love it.
Yeah, he has a nose for the ball somehow in the slot. It's like a whole different animal.
And he's so confident. It's great to watch. But, guys, let's start talking about home field because the division's a wrap. They're 10-1. You don't get to 10-1 often. I keep saying it every week, and I'm going to keep saying it. Now has to be the time. It has to be. Rodgers, he's injured, has won. I'm saying this every week just so you guys know. Breeze has won. Cam Newton hasn't been back. Matt Ryan hasn't been back, although the Falcons look scary. It's all about home field and who's scaring you right now? Because there are some scary teams in the NFC.
Oh, I'm not scared of anyone in the NFC. Saints.
Even
no.
your boys are back, though.
I don't want to see
back.
the Falcons. But
They're back.
Right now, honest to God, no one scares me in the NFC.
Well, I gotta be honest. Look, the Vikings don't really scare me at all. I understand that they're sitting in second place in the NFC, but a team that's starting to come out of the woodwork and is starting to get a little bit of a momentum going is the Atlanta Falcons. Julio Jones is having crazy games right now, and I don't know if Ronald Darby is up to par with a Julio Jones style receiver. I mean, we played against Dez Bryant, but it isn't the same type of Dez Bryant we've seen of the past. So this is going to be a real test if we go head-to-head with them in the playoffs to see how we can handle that.
I'd rather not play them, if at all possible.
I was watching the game the other night with Atlanta, and they just played some smack-mouth defense. They were keeping people out in the red zone territory on the 2-yard line. They were keeping the offense out of the end zone the entire game. So that kind of scares me a little bit. But, I do have faith in our squad. So I don't doubt the Eagles can take them down. I'm just saying they do, put a little bit of fear in me.
Good thing for the Eagles this week, though, is Atlanta's playing the Vikings. It's in Atlanta, so something good is going to happen there no matter what. Ideally, the Vikings lose, and then we pretty much wrap everything up with a win in Seattle. Knock on wood. But and you also got the Saints and the Panthers this week, too. So something's got to give there, too. So the playoff picture right now, if the season ended today in the NFC, which is crazy because it's actually pretty loaded, is the Eagles will be the 1 seed, the Vikings will be 2. Then you have the Rams hosting the Falcons in the 3-6, and then you have the Saints hosting the Panthers in the 4-5. Most likely, you'd be looking at Atlanta because let's just call a spade a spade. I think Atlanta would beat the Rams. I know the Saints didn't, and the Rams were impressive, but I'm thinking Atlanta wins that game.
Yeah, the experience factor would come in there. We'd be playing Atlanta in Philly.
And I would have no problem with playing the Panthers. But, I mean, do we really need to play the Saints in the divisional round? I'd much rather play the Panthers, I guess, in that scenario, but... All right, well, I want to talk about this a little more, so we're going to bring in our power rankings guru because I think we had some shakeups last week. He is brought to you by Gladiator Custom Mouthguards. They are the proud sponsor of Mouthpiece Sports Talk. As the premier custom fit mouthguard in the USA, Gladiator is engineered with a patented cut designed to intimately fit each individual athlete's mouth, offering maximum comfort and the best fit and most protective mouthguard available. Visit www.gladiatorguards.com today to experience the difference. Matty Hudson, all the way from Arizona. What up, buddy?
What up, guys? How we doing?
We're doing good. Let's start, Matt. We're going to do it as we do every week. We're going to talk about our top 5 teams. Let's start with yours. Let me hear why as well.
Obviously, the Eagles are coming in at number 1. Should come in as no surprise to anyone listening. They are hands down the best team in the NFC and in the NFL. 30 points scored is the new norm for this team. I haven't been given the defense enough credit. This team is awesome. Number 2, the team who, in my opinion, does have the MVP, Patriots. Tom Brady, he just keeps doing it.
Well, you said Brady's the MVP, so we'll get into that debate too, so hold that thought.
Absolutely. Steelers coming in at 3. Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell continue to be a nightmare for defenses. If that's not explosive, I don't know. Vikings coming
You're
in
never
at
going to
4.
let that go, are you? The Steelers
win
explosive
today.
thing, are you?
I still am having a hard time believing in them, but again, they continue to prove me wrong. And Case Keenum, I just saw a stat. His QBR, I think, is second in the league behind Deshaun Watson, who's injured, obviously.
You've been on this thing for weeks, though, Matt. I will give you credit. You've been saying they got to go with Keenum. They got to go with Keenum, even when there was whispers about Bridgewater coming back. So you have been on this. I don't buy in them, and I don't think Jordan does either. But we'll get to it.
Absolutely not.
Coming in at number 5, they're back, baby. Super Cam. The
Oh my
Panthers.
goodness gracious!
Ron Rivera with his play calling, finally using McCaffrey even more.
They could barely beat the Jets.
They won.
All right,
Win
cool.
They put up 35 points.
Yep. The Eagles beat teams like the Jets by 100, and the Panthers struggle with the Jets. But all right.
All right, so for mine, I had about enough of giving the top 5. There's only 2 teams left in the league, in my opinion, and number 1's the New England Patriots, and number 2 is the Philadelphia Eagles. After that, it's the pile of garbage, the Rams, the Vikings, the Panthers, and the Falcons. But it's Tom Brady, then it's Carson Wentz.
What kind of dope are you smoking?
The same dope that I've been smoking for 11 weeks.
Whew. Eagles are 10-1.
I agree with Rob. I think it's those 2 and everybody else. So, what do you think, Jordan?
Well, I do have the Eagles at number 1. I have the Patriots at number 2, but it's very close because, it's the Patriots. It's Bill Belichick. It's Tom Brady, okay? They're the greatest coach-quarterback duo we've ever seen, ever.
Well, I'm hoping that's going to be Wentz and Peterson soon.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So, I'm gonna hold the Patriots very close behind. That still scares the hell out of me. I hope someone knocks the Patriots out of playoffs in the AFC divisional. But then behind them, I have the Steelers. Now, I'm gonna jump into the Steelers real quickly. There's too much personalities on the Steelers. There's too many. There's too much crap going on in the locker room. There's too many mouths to feed. That's going to dismantle eventually. I guarantee you, before Week 17, you're going to see a little bit. You're going to see the Steelers kind of dwindle away out of the top 5 power ranking. But I got them there right now.
Well, I'm gonna step in there for a second. You saw the Facebook Live stuff last year. What they had to do, the idiots, and now they had the Martavis Bryant stuff this year. I agree with you because that's what you don't see in the Eagles locker room. You don't see problems
There's too much crap going on, and there's too many people that want the ball, that they're me people. Me. Eagles play team football, which is good, and that's kind of the style that Patriots do. They got control of their locker rooms. At number 4, I got the Vikings, who I really don't have respect for because Case Keenum, you can throw that QBR rating crap out the window. It's Case Keenum. Come on. And I got the Saints at number 5. Which they do scare me, I guess, a little bit, but
just lost to the Rams
just because of Drew Brees, and I know how he can get things done. When it comes to crunch time.
I kind of can't see how you have the Saints over the Rams though. They just played.
I still have for some reason I feel like the Saints are they've been there before. Goff hasn't been there. I still got to put them above the Rams.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather play the Rams over the Saints. That's no question about it. If it was coming down to that,
Yeah.
My top 5 is the Eagles, Patriots, Steelers, but I think they stink. Vikings, but I'm not scared of them at all. And the Rams, I'm definitely not scared of them. So I got to go with what Rob's saying. I kind of agree with him. He's just the only one with the balls to say it. It's the Eagles and the Patriots, and then everybody else is kind of in the middle. I'll take my chances with the Vikings and the Rams, but I want to get into a little bit, take this a couple steps further. You guys have been saying New England and the Eagles. So before we go back to the other teams, I want to see who the MVP is right now. Who's the MVP right now?
It's Wentz. They got to pass the torch.
All right. Matt, who's the MVP right now? Because I'm going to read some numbers here in a second.
Tom Brady. I want it to be Carson Wentz, but it's Tom Brady.
Jordan?
It's Carson Wentz.
All right.
It's Carson Wentz. I don't need to explain myself. It's Carson.
I'm going to say it's Wentz too right now because came out of nowhere and does way more for his team. Well, I shouldn't say that he does way more for his team than Brady does, but Wentz has elevated the Eagles from a place that nobody thought that they would be coming from. And Brady, it's accepted every year. But let's look at the numbers here. I added Brady in the Wentz report this week. Wentz is 213 for 354, 2,657 yards, 28 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and a 104.0 quarterback rating. Brady, he's 279 for 408, 3,374 yards, 26 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and a 111.7 quarterback rating. He's got Wentz almost on every stat there is except touchdowns and red zone touchdowns where Wentz
And overall team record.
Yeah.
And overall
and the
team
most
record.
important stat, the record.
It's going to be now Brady is the favorite. The odds are, you'll see the odds in our odds article, but Brady minus 175 and Wentz plus 125, and then after that it's Drew Brees at plus 1600. So this is a 2-horse race, and Vegas is saying it's just about even. And the NFL loves to crown a new king, so I'm hoping it's going to be Wentz. Maybe the Patriots and Eagles are just on a collision course. Super Bowl and MVP, that's what we need. That's what I'm in for.
I think it's there. Brady's 40. NFL needs a new star. Wentz is a good guy. Plays for his team. Plays his heart out.
All right, so before we get to the Super Bowl, we do have to actually get to the Super Bowl. So I'm going to give you, all you guys here, Matt, I'll start with you. I'm going to read off teams. Pick the 2 you want to play in the playoffs. Atlanta, Carolina, the Saints, Vikings, Rams, Seahawks. Pick 2 of them.
That's easy. Vikings, Rams.
Vikings, Rams. Rob.
Same.
Are we talking out of all of any teams in the NFC?
If the 2 teams you can play in the playoffs, if you could pick any 2.
I would say Rams, Panthers.
Rams and Panthers. I'll take Vikings and Panthers.
I don't want to play Cam Newton twice in a year if I don't have to. You have to beat a team twice. It's not a...
You would have to beat the Rams twice.
That's true, but...
Potentially.
However, I would like to beat the Panthers in the playoffs so I can see how he conducts his press conferences after, because I can't stand watching Cam Newton cry like a baby every time he wins, but he's there toting his chest and doing his Superman stuff when he wins.
All right, so better yet, who are the 2 teams you don't want to play out of that group? And I'll start, and I'll tell you it's Atlanta and the Saints out of that group of teams, and that's who we're gonna potentially play in the playoffs. I'm taking Atlanta. I know I've been off Atlanta. I've been ripping you, Rob, all year, but they're back, dude, and they're kind of scary.
Yeah, it's the 2 with the experience. It's Matt Ryan and Drew Brees. I agree. They both have the experience. They've both done it recently. Seattle's too banged up to worry about.
Matt, what do you think? Same thing?
I'm definitely with you guys on Atlanta. Don't want to face that team, but I think the Panthers. I agree with what I said last week, what Rob just said. I don't want to play Cam Newton twice.
I mean, at least we're having these kind of conversations. It's very nice to be 10-1 heading into December. 8:30 Sunday night, Eagles, Seattle. The Eagles are a 5-point favorite, and it keeps going up. I never would have thought that in a million years that the Eagles would be a 5-point favorite. Seattle, Matt, you've been hot. I need a prediction for Sunday and a score. Give it to me.
Why not keep the 30-point streak going? Saying 30-13. Defense is going to have 6 sacks. Shut them down. 30-13 Birds.
Wow. And a statement to let everybody know, Chris Collinsworth and Al Michaels, let them know who the best team in the NFL is. And hopefully Robbie's watching because he doesn't think the Eagles are the best team in the NFL.
They're right there. I think that they win Sunday as well. I mean, that stadium's going to be loud, though. Pete Carroll, that's like they need to win a game here, Seattle. They need to prove what they can do with all these injuries.
We need a competitive game.
My thing is I think they're gonna win this game, but I ain't gonna have 6 sacks doing it because I don't know if you guys have seen Russell Wilson kind of getting out of the pocket and avoiding sacks for most of these games. It's gonna be a real test right here.
All right. We'll get you guys' prediction at the end of the show. Matt, as always, thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having me, guys. Go Eagles.
All right, later, Matty. That's Matty Hudson, the Power Rankings guru on the line. Checks in with us every week. Does a great job for Mouthpiece. Read his stuff. The kid's hilarious. And he does a great job for Mouthpiece. So I think the Eagles, I don't think there's anybody the Eagles should really worry about anyway. But we have to talk about something. I'm not really worried about anybody. I feel like the Eagles would be favored against any of these teams.
Isn't it amazing? We're sitting here at, what is this, week 12 right now? And we're talking about who we're worried about. We're not even critiquing any part of our team because we don't have anything to talk about in terms of critiquing. Usually at this time of the year, we'd be talking about, well, they need to rush the ball more. They need to do this more. They need to do that more. This is the first time in years I've been sitting here, and we don't have anything to dissect with the actual current team. We're actually more worried about who we're going to be playing against because we're already well off right now.
Crazy. Who would have ever thought we'd have been here?
No, it's awesome. This must be what it feels like to be a Patriots fan. It's like every week you're like checking it off. We're going to score 30. How many sacks we're going to have?
Dude,
this is awesome.
I said something earlier when Matt was on the line. Like, the Panthers struggle with the Jets. Normally, like, teams struggle, like, every once in a while. The Eagles are burying the teams that they need to bury. Beating the piss out of them. Not even letting them breathe. You said 28-0. You were half joking, but it literally was 24-0 at halftime.
And the thing is, they're getting a lot of the haters out there are talking about the strength of schedule. Look, Eagles didn't design their schedule. They're playing who the NFL put in front of them, okay? And they're blowing them out of the water. So enough with all that stuff. And the Eagles are going to come out these next 3 weeks all on the road, and they're going to show the whole nation what they can do.
I agree with you. This is big for the Eagles. And, these next 2 games are the season. They win these next 2. They're getting home field advantage throughout. And you're going to have to come to the link to play. And I don't know if any of these teams could do it.
I don't want to.
It's the pit of misery. That's what the link is now, the pit of misery.
But everybody, listen up. We have a special guest on the line. Our first big guest in the history of the Glockcast. Ladies and gentlemen, Eagles running back and return specialist Kenjon Barner. What's up, Kenjon? How you doing? Thank you for being on the show.
What's going on, man? I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Pretty good, man. Eagles are 10-1. We're feeling good. How you guys feeling about it?
We're feeling just as great as everyone else out here, man. 10-1 is something extremely hard to do in the NFL, and fortunately, we've been able to do it. We're just excited to keep this ball rolling in our direction.
Absolutely. And what is the vibe in the locker room right now? Are you guys thinking Super Bowl, or are you just taking it one step at a time?
Taking it a step at a time, taking it a game at a time, because the minute you start thinking too far ahead of yourself, that's when things can get a little out of hand, get a little ugly. So we're taking it a day at a time, a practice at a time, a game at a time, and we'll look up at the end of the year and see where we're at.
Absolutely, and I hope we're, looking at Minneapolis. But is that something that Doug Peterson has instilled in you guys? Does he give off that vibe? And just talk about Doug for a little bit, if you could.
Doug is that guy, and that's something that he has talked to us about. But as a team, we have a lot of older guys that's on our team that's been in the league quite some time, and so those guys lead us in the right direction and kind of keep us focused on the task at hand and not really getting too far ahead of ourselves. When we live in the moment, we enjoy each and every win, but we also get back to work come that Monday, that Tuesday, when it's time to focus in on our next opponent, rather than worrying about something, well over a month and a half, 2 months away.
Yeah, and you guys have done a great job. Couldn't be any better this year. And it wasn't a lock that you were going to be on the Eagles. You were on the Chargers during training camp. And thankfully, you got cut, so that way we can bring you home back to Philly. What's it been like, just that ride, and how's it different this time around? Because this is your second stint with the Eagles.
It's different, man, just because I'm in a different headspace. Mentally I've grown, over my 4th year now with the team. So I've had time to grow. I've had time to mature. I've had time to really, really understand and really learn from guys like Dan Sproles, learn from guys like Ryan Matthews, learn from, even now being back with Garrett, continually learning from Deuce, and all these guys within this organization who have been an extreme help in my career. I'm just in a different mental space than where I was the past couple of years, really understanding my role and just being in a good space in life, man, and that all contributes to, where I'm at right now in this team. And as far as the team goes, it's I had this talk last week. Last week I was talking to someone and just telling them about the locker room. And you could kind of see where this locker room was headed even toward the end of last year when we were going through our struggles. We weren't winning games. But the locker room remained the same. We never lost trust in each other. We never lost hope in each other. There was never any lack of effort within the locker room. So you could see where it was headed. You could see the potential. And I think now with the guys that Howie has added into the locker room, who he's brought in, and the coaching staff, you can finally see, what we could see last year.
I mean, it resonates to you at the game or through the TV. You guys, it looks like you guys really like playing with each other, and that's not something you see around the NFL. It's some guys, you can even look at New England, some of the better teams. It looks like they're just out there for a job, but you guys generally look like you guys like playing together.
If you guys think that's entertaining, the pregame and all of that, you should see us at practice.
I can only imagine.
They literally have to tell us, focus, okay, come on, focus, guys, focus, because we're literally having that much fun, playing this game of football. It's just something that we all grew up dreaming about playing, and, we're here. And not only that, we're doing great. We're having a great year. We're 10-1, and we're just enjoying it, man. And we truly enjoy being around each other as just as men. Outside of football, we all get together, we hang out, we go out and eat. This team has great chemistry.
Yep, you can tell, you really can. And speaking of which, you guys are a little bit crowded in the running back situation. Is there any, rift between anybody, or does everybody kind of know the role and enjoying what they're doing? Even with just getting Jay into the locker room, and LeGarrette wants his, and even you scored a touchdown against Dallas, which I'm sure had to feel good. If you could just talk about the running back situation a little bit.
You would think with as many guys as we have in that room that there would be some sort of issue, some sort of attitude, but there hasn't been anything of the sort. We have great guys in that room who are all about the team rather than themselves. Every guy in that room is willing to give up themselves so that the team can be better. And every guy in that room is deserving of whatever they feel they're deserving of. But when you have a team that's more family-oriented than anything and that's driven toward a common goal, you don't have those issues because you know what's important. You know what's more important than stats.
Yep.
We all want stats, but at the end of the day, you play this game for stats, you play this game for this, that, and the other. But the ultimate goal of playing this game is to win a Super Bowl. And
We
when we
like
have
that.
the type of team that we have, we sacrifice for each other. We all know each other's capabilities. We know what every guy in that room is capable of. But we can't do it individually. We have to do it as a team, and we understand that. And we have fun doing it. We have fun supporting each other. You look at when one of the other guys scores, we're the first in the end zone to celebrate with each other. We're all about encouraging each other, building each other up, and just having fun, man.
Yeah, and how good did that touchdown feel against Dallas on national TV?
Oh, it was a great feeling. Anytime you can score against Dallas, in Dallas, and on national TV, it's a great feeling.
And you deserved it, man. You deserved it. You're playing great, and you guys, we can't wait to watch you guys Sunday night, 8:30 against Seattle. Thank you so much for being on the show. Our first big guest on the podcast, Kenjon Barner. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you having me.
All right, man. Anytime. Hopefully get you back soon. Man, that was awesome to have Kenjon Barner on. You know what? And a perfect time, too, because you heard the Jai issue that it sounded like he was upset with the carries. It was nice to hear him clear that up.
Oh, hell yeah. That reinforced that video of the electric slide. I feel like these guys love playing with each other, and he made that clear.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was the biggest takeaway out of that. You could see that these guys like playing with each other, and that's why I asked the question, and that just reassured me to the hill that this team really does love playing
And the guy
with each other.
he sounded really humble on the phone. That's the type of guy you like in your locker room. And I was happy to hear from him.
Thank you, Kenjon Barner, for joining the show. Some great insight. I'm only more excited for this team now at this point. I really am.
Hell yeah, let's get him another touchdown.
Yeah, absolutely. He's now. I asked the question, who's your favorite Eagle to watch, not named Wentz? My Kenjon Barner.
Same.
Kenjon Barner's my favorite Eagle now by far. And I didn't ask him about Chip Kelly going to UCLA, but Jordan, I know you have some thoughts on that, so don't bash him too bad.
I hate Chip Kelly more than anybody in this city and in the tri-state area. Okay, I paid a lot of money to go see every single game under Chip Kelly on his second year, and it was embarrassing. I was at the Dallas Eagles home opener. I'll never forget this. They couldn't get the ball past the 50-yard line, okay? And now I was dismissed from the game at halftime, but that's neither here or there. Now, look, he completely ripped apart this team. The locker room resented him. It was an absolute mess. And then this guy named Doug Peterson came in and had to rebuild this whole thing. And luckily, he did it relatively quickly. He had a 7-9 first season, and they came back, and now we're sitting here at 10-1. But Chip Kelly, I wish you nothing but the worst at UCLA, and I'll go from there.
Well, go off what Kenjon Barner just said. This locker room's different. And I feel like that Chip locker room was just flat out toxic. Like, this locker room's different. And that's kudos to Doug Peterson. Who would have ever thought Doug Peterson?
He's a player. He's a player's coach. I don't think he's treating them like children.
Yeah.
Which they don't have a bedtime and they don't have a diet regimen. I think these are grown men that are playing winning football right now.
Very true. Very true. All right, boys. I gotta get some predictions. I want to get into this Seattle game. This is the biggest game of the year. Like I said, the Eagles are a 5-point favorite in Seattle on a Sunday night. Now, I want to hear what has you a little bit wary for this game because the Eagles are due for a come down. This is a come down week.
Well, clearly, I'm not worried too much about Seattle's defense because Cam Chancellor's not there. You don't got Richard Sherman on the field. So, you can throw the ball wherever, okay? It's more on the Seahawks offense that does scare me a little bit. They still got Russell Wilson. And if you haven't been watching Russell this season, the guy will do anything it takes to get it done.
He's been pretty damn good.
And he's still got the Graham out there. He's still got Baldwin out there. Obviously their running game isn't really going to go anywhere. So I think Russell Wilson is going to have to put this whole team on his back to beat us, which ain't going to happen. So in my prediction, we got 30-16 Eagles.
I like that prediction. And a cover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exciting. For me, it's what I already discussed. It's Seattle's backs against the wall. They have Pete Carroll. They have Russell Wilson, like you said. They're in a must-win. They have the hottest team in the NFL. They're going to get up for it. The crowd's going to get up for it. But Vegas put that line at 5 for a reason. That's an Eagles line on the road.
That's an Eagles line and a half.
That's an 8-9 point line at home.
Yeah. That's insane.
No one's afraid of that 12th man crap. Okay, no one cares about playing in Seattle. It's nothing now.
That could be true. With Wentz behind, with Wentz back there, you might be onto it.
Wentz, we talked about the MVP. Wentz could lock up the MVP with a big-time showing for all to see against an MVP candidate in Russell Wilson.
Yeah, it'd be a huge road win. I think I'm going to go 28-23 Eagles.
You think it'll be a tough game?
Yeah.
It could. I'll have my report out Sunday at 9 a.m., but the big radio guy in Seattle tweeted out a couple weeks ago that Seattle would beat the piss out of the Eagles, so he'll be eating his words. I'm thinking come Sunday. I think it's the opposite. I think the Eagles will beat the piss of Seattle, but I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Still a couple of days to marinate, and then I'll have my prediction and score, which has been on fire. 10-1, 9-2 against the spread. I've been on fire. MouthpieceSportsTalk.com has been on fire. And boys, I just want to thank you guys for joining me today. Jordan, it was an awesome time. We got to get you in here again.
You know I love it. I love this stuff.
The leader of Eagles fandom right there, Jordan Bruni, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to him. Rob, always a pleasure, as usual.
Jordan's got me on fire in here.
Let's go. I know. I'm ready for this game to start right now.
Yeah.
Special thanks to Kenjon Barner for being on the show. Matt Hudson, the Power Rankings guru. Everybody, if you're not with MouthpieceSportsTalk.com now, I don't know what you're doing. The Wentz Report, game preview, reviews, Sixers Talk with Joe Pop, Fantasy with Dunphy, the Power Rankings, special guests like Kenjon Barner on the Glockcast. Everybody, join the revolution. MouthpieceSportsTalk.com. Glockcast. I'll talk to you next week. Go Birds.